Hi friends, this is Anna with Scrapping, Stamping, and Stuff, and I'm here to show you a really neat technique today. I took a walk in the woods yesterday, and the leaves this time of year are just absolutely beautiful, and it inspired me to do a stamping project with some of those leaves. So I want to show you how to do this leaf stamping technique just with some leaves that you collect outside and some ink. I almost said stamps. Some ink and paper. We don't even need stamps for this. So first I'll show you how to do this, and then I'm going to come back to each one of these cards and explain a little bit about how I did each one. So the first thing you need to do is find some leaves. I have some here that I collected. I got different kinds, different shapes and sizes. When you are collecting your leaves, you want to keep in mind a couple of things. You want to try and get flat ones if possible. These have dried up and curled up a little bit since I brought them home. So when they were a little bit damp, that actually made it easier because they laid flat. And try to find the ones without holes or tears or damage to them. That get the nice ones that are all solid and don't have any holes. So we're going to do a project with this little leaf right here. So what we need to do first is prepare. The way we're going to do this is with our die cutting and embossing machine. So I prepared my own little, kind of like an embossing folder, but I just used cardstock for it. So this is the thinnest white cardstock that comes in our Stampin' Up! Designer Series paper packs. And I cut one of the 12 by 12 sheets into 4 pieces that measure 6 by 6 inches. So I'm going to lay 2 of these onto my platform that will go through the cut and emboss machine. So I platform 1, I have one of my clear plates, I have 2 of those pieces of white chipboard or cardboard. I'm going to lay my cardstock down that I want to get my leaf image onto. And now I need to get the ink onto the back of my leaf. I'm going to bring my chamois in here because I'm going to do this just with my hands. If you wanted to use gloves, you could, or you could use a brayer. You could use a sponge if you wanted to. There's a lot of different ways you can get the ink on the back of your leaf, but I am just going to do this, and in the process, I'm going to end up with some ink on my fingers. So that's what my chamois is here for. Once I have the ink on the back of the leaf, I want to lay it very carefully onto the paper, and once it's on there, I don't want to move it at all or it will smudge the ink. Now I'm going to put my other 2 pieces of white cardboard on top and my other clear cutting plate. At this point, let's bring in the cut and emboss machine. I am going to send this through here. So I'm going to crank till it has gone all the way through. I'll take it apart. We want to lift up very carefully again so as to not smudge the ink. And there you can see the results. Now, this is one thing that I found with this, that some of the leaves gave more of a solid image than the others, but that is the basic technique and you can play around with it. This actually, I think this one I'm doing right now is possibly the worst of all of the ones I have done. But let me bring these back in and show you what I did. So this leaf was basically like this one. I used Just Jade ink on that card. On this one, I'll show you, I actually did this one inside of an actual embossing folder. So this is something you could try if you want to. I laid my cardstock down and then I put the inked leaf on top, closed the embossing folder and put it through the normal way instead of creating my own little platform with the cardboard. So that is something you can do. This is our subtle embossing folder, which has a very subtle texture and pattern, if you can see that there. I didn't want it to take away from the leaf, but I wanted that to have a little bit of a texture there. Here is one I did with Cajun Craze ink. I love how that one turned out. This one I absolutely love. I did a couple of leaves at a time on this one. I didn't want to overlap too many because I didn't think they would lay lay level and then the ink wouldn't have been overlapping. So I did, say, one leaf over here and one leaf over here, and I ran it through, took those off, added 2 more leaves, ran it through, and then I think I ran it through a 3rd time. And I just love that with the different colors and the different leaf shapes. I think that one turned out really neat. And this one may be my favorite. So when I inked this oak leaf, I actually used Versamark ink, and then after it came through and I removed the leaf, I sprinkled my gold embossing powder over, and I embossed this with my heat tool. So the other thing I did in the background of this, I used the Woodland embossing folder, and it was not big enough to make a slimline card background. So I embossed 2 separate pieces, one at the bottom and one at the top, and then I cut them into sections. So basically I have 4 different smaller embossed pieces in the background. So I thought that was a nice way to get the embossed background without having an embossing folder large enough for a slimline card like this. So I hope you liked this leaf stamping and embossing technique. I would love for you to try this at home and send me a picture of your results. So thanks for joining in. You can get more ideas and inspiration on my blog at scrappingstampingandstuff.com, and I hope to see you again next time.